Our webinar today is about creating standardized systems for transitioning projects between vendors and project onboarding. As web agencies, we often take on existing projects from other vendors. This may be a completed project that is entering a maintenance phase, or a rebuild, a redesign, or a site that just needs basic updates from time to time. It is imperative that the transfer of these projects is streamlined and includes all the pertinent information from the onset to ensure adherence to timelines, estimates, and expectations. By developing a comprehensive checklist and clear guidelines, we can ensure every project is ready for the next team to start immediately. Before we get too far, let me introduce myself. My name is John Bowman. I am a full stack developer here at Atten, going on about 4.5 years. For some of my time here at Atten, I had the opportunity to take on full builds from the ground up using open source technologies like Drupal or WordPress to build custom sites that fit our clients' needs. And some of the time, I have taken on the consulting projects where the project has been completed by us here at Atten or has moved into a support cycle, or having taken on projects created by outside agencies where the client has chosen Atten to handle the support and any further development moving forward. Having this experience has given me a unique perspective into this process and define ideal parameters for what the handoff should look like. As an agency, we have the unique opportunity to work on diverse projects that come our way. It's always an exciting chance for us to showcase our expertise and streamline processes. To make our transitions smoother and more efficient, we're focusing on standardizing how we capture and share project details right from the start. By developing a comprehensive checklist and clear guidelines, we ensure every project we intake or transition is ready for our team to dive in immediately. In today's session, we'll explore the key elements that contribute to a successful transition and collaborate to create effective standards, whether it's onboarding a project from an outside agency or moving from a full build to a support contract. Together, we'll make these transitions seamless and efficient. Let me start by briefly going over some numbers that make up the main components of consulting based upon our agency here at Atten. Our typical client workload is often divided among consulting work and new project development. While the exact mix can change based on what your agency focuses on, your different types of clients and marketing trends, a typical breakdown can look a little bit like this. At Atten, our consulting work generally compromises a significant portion of our agency's clientele, often ranging from around 50 to 60%. Now, this is the breakdown here at Atten and can vary greatly depending on your own agency structure and client flow. The other 40% are full service projects that, once finished, could flip to the other side of this graph and become consulting projects in their own right. Feel free in the comments to let me know your agency's consulting versus new build breakdown. Consulting work, by our definition here at Atten, includes a range of activities like strategy development, where we help clients develop digital strategies, optimize for SEO, create content strategies, and plan their marketing efforts. We offer technical audits, where we evaluate existing websites or web applications to find ways to improve performance, security, and usability. We offer training and workshops, provide to help clients understand web technologies, best practices, and industry trends. We can also offer ongoing support and maintenance. We offer continuous support for existing web properties, including updates, troubleshooting, and enhancements. We also handle redesigns, updated theming, and make sure your project meets current and future accessibility standards. Now that we've outlined our consulting services, it's important to distinguish between the consulting work we handle in-house and the consulting work we receive from outside agencies. The consulting work we handle here at Atten is either derived from in-house work, moving into its support cycle, or comes from projects that are transferring to us from an outside agency. This graphic illustrates that split. You can see that a significant portion of our consulting activities, roughly 37%, comes from outside agencies. Being such a significant portion of our work, it is vital that we have in place standards for onboarding projects from an outside agency. This graph also shows that the bulk of our consulting work comes from internal projects moving into their support cycle, showing the importance of having in place proper procedures and documentation for projects we've built in-house that might change hands internally amongst our own team of developers and creatives. Understanding this balance between in-house and external consulting work is vital for optimizing our workflow and improving project outcomes. Now that we have an understanding of how we define consultation work and have some insight into how much of that work makes up a significant portion of our overall workload, we can jump into the agenda at hand. In this first part, we will focus on onboarding projects from another agency. This involves understanding the nuances of integrating new projects into our workflow, the importance of project documentation throughout a project's lifecycle, managing expectations, and establishing effective communication channels with the previous agency to ensure a smooth handover. In the second part, we will shift our attention to in-house transitions and handing off projects. This is equally important as it ensures that our internal teams are well prepared to take over ongoing projects, maintain momentum, and continue delivering high-quality results. We'll discuss best practices for internal transitions, including documentation, training, and knowledge transfer. By the end of this session, you will have a clear understanding of how to manage these transitions effectively. Whether they involve external agencies or internal teams, we'll build a working general outline to guide the transition along, and will also equip you with strategies to maintain strong client relationships and projects as projects evolve from launch to consulting phases. So let's jump into part one. When it comes to bringing in projects from another agency, we often encounter a few common challenges. These can be quite tricky to navigate, but understanding them upfront can make the transition a whole lot smoother. First up, we frequently deal with incomplete or inconsistent information. Imagine getting a project handed over where the details are sketchy or the information is scattered. It's a lot like trying to put a puzzle together with missing pieces. This can cause delays, extended timelines, and plenty of hours of spent putting the puzzle together. Then we have the challenge of non-technical personnel handling technical documentation and standard operating procedures. This can lead to misunderstandings or errors because the nuances of technical requirements might not fully be grasped. And finally, there's the issue of missing or non-existent documentation. Sometimes the documents just don't exist or they're just not handed over, leaving us in the dark about crucial aspects of the project. These challenges can seem daunting, but identifying them is the first step towards finding effective solutions. This leaves us with our next question. How can we confront these issues? In order to tackle these challenges, as the receiving agency, we need to set our expectations early, have our standards, checklists, outline, and requirements ready. Ideally, having the incoming project set up like any one of our in-house projects would make things so much easier. However, since every agency has its own processes, it's crucial for us to outline our expectations clearly. By preparing a detailed outline of what we need and sharing it with the incoming client, we set the stage for a smooth transition. This proactive approach helps ensure that we receive all necessary information and documentation, making the onboarding process much more efficient. Now let's delve into setting up our expectations for the handover process and build out our outline. When we're receiving a project from another agency, there are key elements we need to clarify and secure. These elements ensure a seamless transition and effective project management. These four topics will be the building blocks of our outline: project documentation, technical details for the incoming project, credentials and access to any platforms, APIs, third-party plugins, and integrations, and then contact information. Section 1 of our outline is project documentation. In this section, we will focus on comprehensive project documentation. This includes architectural and structural diagrams, user manuals, and deployment guides. By breaking the project down into more manageable pieces, we can better understand its complexities. As the agency that is receiving the information, we can think of this as our project's playbook. We need detailed diagrams to show how the system is built. As the transferring agency, your knowledge and detailed understanding of how your site works, how it is built, and the inner structure is key to passing on this information. If this is a Drupal or a WordPress project, having the breakdown on how content types and post types are constructed, how taxonomy terms and relationships are set up will get us quickly up to speed. We'll also need user manuals that explain how to use it. Documentation for a project is essentially the how-to guide for the project itself. Proper documentation when the project is in its build phase will follow the project through its life cycle. And when a project is moving from one vendor to another, this user guide is plenty of the answers in one place. The more thorough documentation will allow us to grasp the incoming project thoroughly and quickly, enabling us to hit the ground running. So let's take a closer look at these sections. When transitioning a project from one agency to another, architectural and structural diagrams become absolutely essential. Imagine trying to navigate a complex project without a clear map. It would be chaos. These diagrams provide a clear visual representation of the website's framework, making it easier for everyone involved to understand the project's scope and design. They serve as a common language among developers, designers, project managers, and clients, ensuring everyone stays on the same page during this transition. In essence, architectural and structural diagrams ensure a smoother transition by keeping everyone aligned, aiding efficient development, and simplifying problem solving. They are an invaluable tool in maintaining continuity and quality as the project moves from one agency to another. When transitioning a project from one agency to another, just like architectural and structural diagrams are essential for internal development, user manuals and deployment guides are crucial for the successful use and implementation of the website by end users and administrators. Let's break down why these documents are so important during this handover. First up, user manuals. Well-crafted user manuals can significantly reduce the number of support requests. When we can find answers to our questions and solutions to common problems within the manual, we are less likely to reach out to support teams. This is particularly beneficial during a transition as it frees up resources for more critical issues that might arise during the handover. Next up, we have deployment guides. These guides are essential for ensuring a smooth and consistent deployment process. They provide step-by-step instructions for setting up and configuring the website, which is especially crucial in complex environments. This helps avoid errors and reduces the time required for deployment. Key factors when a new team is taking over. By documenting the deployment process, deployment guides help maintain consistency across different environments such as development, staging, and production. This consistency is vital for ensuring that the website behaves as expected regardless of where it's being deployed. A well-documented deployment guide can help minimize downtime, providing clear instructions on handling potential issues during deployment, which is critical during a transition period. In essence, while architectural and structural diagrams are critical for the internal workings and development of a website, user manuals and deployment guides are indispensable for its successful use and implementation. Together, they ensure that both the creators and users of the website can achieve their goals efficiently and effectively, especially during a transition from one agency to another. Now that we have our playbook in hand, we'll need a detailed project roadmap and timeline, and an outline of past milestones and future deliverables. Think of this as the project's diary. We need a clear view of what's been accomplished so far, including all milestones that have been achieved, as well as a detailed plan of what's left to do. This roadmap will help us understand the current state of the project and its future trajectory. By gaining insight into your project's past progress and future goals, we can align our efforts with your vision. This allows us to fully become invested in the project's success. For instance, we need to know if a backlog exists, what features are in development, what features are ready for release but have not yet been deployed. Additionally, we need to be aware of any planned or needed updates. These details are crucial as they provide us with a comprehensive understanding of the project's status and future plans. The project roadmap and timeline serve as the strategic blueprint of the entire project. It outlines the high-level goals, key deliverables, and major milestones, providing a visual representation of the project's progress and future plans. A well-defined roadmap helps the team stay focused on the project's objectives. It ensures that everyone is aligned on the project's vision and understands the key priorities. The timeline aspect of the roadmap allows for tracking progress against set deadlines. It provides a clear picture of how far the project has come and what needs to be achieved within specific timeframes. The roadmap is an essential tool for communication as it provides a clear and concise overview of the project status, helping to maintain expectations and keep everyone informed about progress and upcoming activities. Understanding past milestones is critical for assessing the project's progress and learning from previous phases. Reviewing past timeline milestones provides available insights into what worked well and what didn't. This reflection helps identify best areas and practices for improvement, which can be applied to future phases of the project. Having a record of successfully achieved milestones builds confidence among stakeholders. It shows that the project is on track and that the team is capable of delivering on its promises, which is crucial for maintaining support and trust. Looking at the past will help us look at the future. Whether the change of agencies is to increase project velocity or to move into a different routine, knowing where the project is going, identifying and planning for the future deliverables ensures that the project continues to move forward smoothly and effectively. Defining future deliverables helps set clear, actionable goals for the team. These goals provide direction and purpose, ensuring that everyone knows what needs to be achieved next, which helps us allocate resources. The project roadmap and timeline, past milestones, and future deliverables are crucial components of project management. They provide a comprehensive view of the project history, present status, and future plans, ensuring that the team stays focused, informed, and prepared for what lies ahead, helping us mitigate risks and ensure continuity. What would we learn from your project's diary? Let me know what else we can include in our project's diary. Next up, and equally important to our project success, is maintaining comprehensive records of all past discussions and decisions. As the agency receiving the project, having access to previous meeting notes and decision logs, we can ensure that all team members are aligned, informed, and able to make well-founded decisions moving forward. Think of your meeting notes and decision logs as giving us, the receiving agency, a backstage pass to the project's inner workings. They offer a detailed look at the discussions and decisions that have shaped the project, providing invaluable insights into its development and trajectory. This section is crucial because it provides us with the behind-the-scenes insights into the project's development. Think of these notes and logs as a window into the thought processes and discussions that shape the project. By reviewing them, we can understand why decisions were made, ensuring that we're on the same page as we move forward. These notes reveal key insights into the rationale behind specific components and features. For example, why does a particular feature work a certain way? Was it designed with a specific purpose in mind? These documents help us understand the reasoning and objectives that guided the teams involved in the project. These documents are invaluable for getting up to speed quickly and effectively. They provide the context and background needed to make informed decisions and contribute meaningfully to the project's ongoing success. Okay, we've got the playbook in hand, we've got the project diary, and we've got the behind-the-scenes look. This is a good start to our outline. By establishing clear expectations regarding project documentation, we can ensure a smooth and successful handover. These elements form the foundation for effective project management and collaboration. For the next section of our outline, let's take a closer look at technical details we'll be asking for when receiving an incoming project. To begin with, access to the codebase and repository links is paramount. This access enables our development teams to review the project's current state, understand its structure, and identify its dependencies. By examining the codebase, we can gain valuable insights into the project's design and implementation, which is essential for ensuring a smooth integration process. This access gives us the ability for performing a technical audit during the transition phase, which can be incredibly beneficial. This audit, conducted by the receiving team, provides a deeper understanding of the project while handoffs are still in progress. It allows us to identify any potential issues or areas that might require attention, ensuring that we are all well prepared to take over the project's maintenance and development. The sooner we can start forming questions and delving into the technical details, the better. Early engagement with the project's technical aspects allow us to address any concerns promptly and effectively. It also helps us to develop a comprehensive plan for integrating and maintaining the project. minimizing disruptions and ensuring continuity. Moreover, understanding the technical intricacies of the project enables us to make informed decisions about future enhancements and optimizations. It allows us to build on existing foundation with confidence, knowing that we have a solid grasp of the project's underlying architecture and functionality. Access to the codebase and repository links, coupled with a thorough technical audit, is crucial for our development teams. This approach ensures that we can seamlessly integrate, maintain, and enhance the project, ultimately contributing to its long-term success. Along with access to the code, we'll need to know about the deployment workflows and details of the development, staging, and production environments, if in case that is the process that's in place. Understanding the development workflows is crucial for us to see how work gets deployed for review, gain insight into what is already in progress and what is being staged for release to the end user. Whether we keep the current workflow or introduce our preferred workflows, ensuring a smooth transition will help us maintain timely delivery for both ongoing and future work. As a partner of the Pantheon platform, Atten is very familiar with this workflow and often transitions projects to this platform. However, we can adapt to and work within most platforms if necessary. Having this comprehensive understanding of the existing environments and workflows will ensure we are well prepared to integrate seamlessly and continue delivering high-quality results. Access to workflows and the environment details gets us into the project. Once we're inside, we'll need a bit more information for our better understanding of the inner workings and integrations. Next, we'll need details on any third-party services, APIs, and integrations being used. Last, but definitely not least, information on these integrations will help us further our understanding of the project's functionality. This includes anything like payment gateways, analytical tools, CRM systems, and anything else that plugs into your project. Knowing how these pieces fit together will help us maintain continuity and avoid any disruptions. As you can see, our outline is coming together. We've got project documentation and technical details. So what's next? Since we're on the subject of integrations, this brings us to another crucial aspect that goes hand in hand with asking for all the previous information. We'll need credentials and proper access permissions set for our team. Since we're already discussing the systems and services that we'll be interfacing with, it's vital to ensure that we have the necessary credentials and access rights to these platforms. Having the correct logins and passwords, API keys, and access permissions from the start is essential. This allows our team to hit the ground running without any unnecessary delays. Proper access ensures that we can troubleshoot, maintain, and improve project efficiently. We'll need administrative access to all your hosting services, domain registrars, and any other relevant platforms. This is essentially giving us the keys to the castle. With this access, we can manage the site, make updates, and ensure everything is running smoothly from the back end. We need login details for all the services and tools you're using. This could be anything from your content management system and analytical tools to your marketing automation software. And then last, let's not forget about security. We'll need all security keys, SSL certificates, and any encryption details. This ensures that the data stays secure and that we can keep everything protected. Plus, it's essential for maintaining trust and safety with your users. Now that we've covered the critical elements of credentials and access and have the keys to the castle, our outline is beginning to take solid shape now. Let's move on to another important aspect, contact information. Ensuring we have accurate and comprehensive contact details is key to maintaining clear communication throughout the project. Knowing exactly who to contact and how to reach them allows us to address any issues promptly and keep everyone in the loop. This becomes even more crucial during the transition to a new agency where clear communication channels can make all of the difference. As the receiving agency, we need to know on our team who will be managing the project, who will be handling development tasks, whether that's front end, back end, design, or strategy, so we can coordinate effectively. Our goal is to establish a list of key contacts that will act as our direct lines of communication. It is also important that prior to the transition beginning, we have our team in place and prepared and ready to handle the incoming project. From the incoming agency, we will also need a very similar list. We need to know who the project manager is, who to direct technical and non-technical questions to, and who will be our regular points of contact for various aspects of the project. This clarity helps us interact efficiently and ensures that any issues or questions are quickly routed to the right people. By having a comprehensive list of contact information, we can ensure smooth communication and collaboration throughout this transition and beyond. Once we have a list of the who's who for the project, we'll also need to know the channels we will be using to effectively communicate back and forth. How do we get in touch for specific things, such as assigning new work or scheduling meetings, communicating progress, and raising critical issues? It is important for us to know these channels because clear and efficient communication is the backbone of successful collaboration. We typically use a combination of methods such as email for formal correspondence, Basecamp or Jira for project management and task assignment, Slack for real-time messaging and quick updates, Zoom or Microsoft Teams for virtual meetings and discussions, and possibly any others tailored to your team's preferences and workflows. Having designated channels ensures that we can reach out promptly and appropriately, whether it's to discuss project milestones, seek clarification on requirements, or address urgent matters. This clarity helps us maintain alignment with project goals, streamline decision-making processes, and ultimately deliver results that meet expectations and deadlines efficiently. When we have these channels established, our general outline is just about complete. This outline serves as a comprehensive checklist to ensure we gather all necessary documentation and information during the project transition. It outlines our expectations and provides a structured approach to collecting details for incoming projects. While we can customize and add new sections to accommodate specific agency needs, these predefined areas serve as a foundational guide for compiling the essential transition information. Using this outline as a checklist helps us systematically gather the required documentation and information. Each section prompts us to collect specific details such as access to code repositories, deployment workflows, environment configurations, communication channels, and project contacts. By following this structured approach, we can ensure that nothing critical is overlooked during the transition process. Transitioning projects into your agency from an outside agency can be a daunting task. Hopefully, creating your own outline or using the information we've covered here to help ease the transition and make things run smoothly. We've discussed the importance of thorough project documentation, technical details and credentials, and contact information, all crucial elements for a successful handover. Now that we've covered the essential steps and best practices for onboarding projects from another agency, it's time to shift our focus to part 2 of our webinar. In this section, we'll explore in-house transitions and the process of handing off projects within your own organization. In-house transitions present their own set of challenges and opportunities. Ensuring continuity, maintaining quality, and managing internal resources effectively are key to successful in-house project transitions. We'll discuss strategies for seamlessly transferring projects between teams, best practices for documentation and knowledge transfer, and how to keep the momentum going to avoid any disruptions. Whether you're moving a project from one department to another or preparing to hand off a project to a new team, these insights will help you manage in-house transitions with confidence. So let's dive into part 2 and explore how we can manage in-house transitions and hand off projects effectively within your own organization. Part 2 of our presentation shifts focus from gathering external information to evaluating and refining our internal procedures and processes. Internal transitions involve a lot of the same components, almost like we're just pointing back to the external transition that we discussed earlier. The main difference is that now we're testing our own adherence to our own standard operating procedures and processes. It's critical that we emphasize the importance of adhering to these internal standards for several reasons. By following standardized procedures, we ensure consistency in how projects are initiated, executed, and delivered. This consistency not only enhances the quality of our deliverables, but also builds trust with our clients and stakeholders. First, we need to ensure comprehensive documentation. This means maintaining up-to-date documentation, including architectural diagrams, setup instructions, and detailed code comments, regularly updating the project roadmap with completed milestones and upcoming tasks is also crucial. Documenting all decision-making processes and the rationale provides transparency and context for future reference. As we established in part one, documentation is key. It serves as a vital record of our project's evolution and ensures continuity and clarity across all stages of development and maintenance. Holding ourselves accountable to high standards in documentation is essential for several reasons. Comprehensive and well-maintained documentation is foundational to our organizational success. It enhances transparency, supports knowledge transfer, and helps mitigate risks. It ensures quality and promotes continuous improvement. By prioritizing thorough documentation practices, we strengthen our ability to deliver successful projects and achieve long-term sustainability and growth. What we would be asking of an outside organization would be the same information we'd be compiling within our own project from start to finish. And then this information will be readily available when it comes time for it to move forward with a new team within the organization. We're looking for comprehensive documentation, architectural structural diagrams, manuals and deployment guides, roadmaps and timelines. The same stuff that we asked earlier, but now we're just reviewing what we're doing in-house. Now is the time to ensure we are following our own standard operating procedures. Continuous revisions to this project documentation and noting changes will make sure the most up-to-date information is following the project as it continues its path. As with transitions involving external agencies, internal transitions also require structured communication as a critical component. Setting up a final handoff meeting is essential to ensure smooth transitions and alignment among team members taking over the project. Schedule a comprehensive final handoff meeting to walk through the project with a new team or client. Emphasize the importance of reviewing project documentation thoroughly. This includes diagrams, setup instructions, code repositories, or any relevant decision logs. Ensuring that all documentation is up to date and accessible facilitates a seamless transition and empowers the new team or client to continue project progress without unnecessary delays or misunderstandings. Clearly define roles, responsibilities during the handoff meeting. Outline who will be accountable for ongoing tasks, communication channels, and points of contact for specific issues or escalations. Encourage an open dialogue during the handoff meeting to address any questions, concerns, or uncertainties. Provide ample opportunity for the new team or client to seek clarification on project intricacies, requirements, and expectations. This proactive approach fosters a collaborative environment and builds confidence in the transition process. Establish a plan for follow-up communication as well, post-handoff. Schedule regular check-ins, status updates to monitor progress, address emerging issues, and provide ongoing support as needed. This continuous communication reinforces accountability and maintains momentum towards project milestones and goals. To ensure smooth transitions, develop a standardized checklist for internal handoffs. This checklist should include sections for the project overview, technical details, access information, and any outstanding issues. A standardized checklist helps to ensure that no critical information is missed during the handoff process. In part one of this session, we created a checklist and an outline that is well suited for this scenario as well, and provides us internally with the opportunity to review how well, as an organization, we are following and adhering to our own standards and procedures. It also gives us an opportunity to refresh team members about the processes that we do have in place. Not only that, we can also quality assure and conduct a peer review of the handoff documentation to ensure completeness and clarity. Additionally, schedule a knowledge transfer session to address any complex aspects of the project. This session allows for direct interaction and clarification, which can be very helpful in understanding the project's intricacies. In conclusion, while transitioning projects internally shares many similarities with onboarding projects from another agency, there are specific nuances that need attention. Thorough documentation, clear handoff notes, structured communication, and quality assurance practices are all key to successful internal transitions. As a keynote from both internal and external transitions, we've talked extensively about the importance of documentation. The documentation we maintain for our project is not just a set of instructions for our own team, it can also become a critical guide for others who may take over the project in the future. This means that the level of detail and clarity in our documentation can significantly impact the success of a project handoff, whether it's to another agency or to another team within our own organization. Comprehensive and well-organized documentation ensures that anyone new to the project can quickly understand its history, current status, and future direction. By investing time and effort into creating thorough documentation, we not only facilitate smoother transitions, but also enhance the overall quality and sustainability of our projects. This approach helps in preserving the project's integrity, helps maintain continuity, and avoid disruptions. Remember, our documentation serves as a legacy that supports both current and future teams. It bridges the gap between different phases of the project and ensures that valuable knowledge and insights are preserved and accessible. Effective documentation is a cornerstone of project success, regardless of whether the transition is internal or external. Now that I got some time left over here, I want to show you guys some examples that all this information that I've kind of dumped on you culminates to. Stop my share real quick and share. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's an agency handoff document. This one's just an example. Earlier, whenever we were talking, we were building an outline of all the documentation that one might need to ensure a clear and concise project handover. And all that information basically compiles into two documents where I'm going to show you here. This is just a simple Google document with a lot of information that we outlined earlier in the webinar, and it's on display and easy to access. This document is the initial gateway into the project for either the receiving agency or the receiving team when taking over a new project. In here, you can see we've got links to project documentation, whether these be diagrams or manuals, deployment guides, they're all here in one place in this handoff guide. We've got a roadmap and a timeline. Again, that could be like a Jira board. It could be a spreadsheet, anything, but we're just linking to it from here, from this handoff document. Listed even more, we've got contact information for the incoming agency. And then beneath that, we have all kinds of different technical documentation. This one's going to be a Drupal site. Here we've got front-end tooling. This is a little bit more for developers on the call. But again, if you're just the transferring agency, or if we're just moving a project from one person to another, regardless of whether it be internal agencies, big agencies, small agencies, personal one developer to another, this is all crucial information. And then we have some transition notes listed here as well. Different hosting platforms that are involved, different plugins like SendGrid. We have Git information, all sitting in here in this one document, nicely organized. This is super helpful whenever we're moving from back and forth, just because it lists everything, and the developers and anyone else involved in the project has a one place go to where they can take a look at it, and it's all right there. I got one more example to show you before we open up to questions. This here is a README file from within the code base. This one's more for developers on the call. This is something that all the developers kind of compile as they put it together. As the site's being built, as the project is being built, all that information starts flowing into this README file. This file contains more of the same information that was in that handoff document, but this one here is more for the developers. Once they get inside the code base, this is either sitting on their GitHub repository or involved in their project files. Again, it contains a lot of the same information that we're looking at. We've got contact roles in the project. Any contact information can be listed in here. Different communication channels, where the code repository exists, where it lives. This one's on GitHub, just as an example. Hosting, here it's in Pantheon. The different Drupal environments, we have live, test, and dev. We have different logins in case you're using LDAP on your project. This also has local setups, how to build it this is going to be a Lando setup. So we have how to build it for the first time whenever the developer first gets their hand on it. This way they can get spun up locally. It's all right here and contained. In these two documents make up basically everything that the webinar was talking about today.